I guess this question is going to sound odd, perhaps, but how do you think Hamas views this ceasefire? Do they view it as a victory? Do they view it as surrender, as capitulation? Do they view it as just simply something necessary for their future survival? What do you think?
I think they, I don't think they view it as a surrender. Throughout the war, especially in the last, I'd say, 6 months or so, Hamas has been extremely stuck to its guns. And what I mean by that is that they said, okay, Israel, for us to end, for the war to end, or for us to accept a ceasefire, Hamas has said, uh, we will do a hostage exchange or prisoner exchange. We can do a change in governance as far as who will run the Gaza Strip politically. Okay, they mentioned those things and some other stuff as well. And a lot of that, what we're seeing now, the hostage exchange, the IDF pulling back, for example, the aid as well that's going to start coming into the Gaza Strip. That's all happening. So, and that's what Hamas has said that they wanted. So I think they may have not gotten everything, of course, that they wanted, but I think they're going to be happy or at least satisfied. I think that's the better term to use here with this ceasefire deal. Again, as I said earlier, they never said that they were going to disarm. Okay, and so
Mm-hmm.
far, at least today, they haven't, and nor do I think they will disarm. So that's very important for them. So yes, through this whole war, biggest thing for Hamas was survival, to survive what the IDF was the IDF operation, because I don't think they realized when they planned the October 7th attack that the IDF would go as far as it did rather, that this war would last 2 years. Now, can you say in hindsight, would Hamas have had second thoughts of doing the October 7th attack if they knew how the IDF was going to respond? Fortunately, I couldn't answer that for you, but nevertheless, it was about survival for Hamas. I don't think their priority wasn't the Palestinian civilians that were going through hell for 2 years. It was themselves. It was the organization. It had to remain functional, and it is now, and it will be after this ceasefire deal, I think. And so I think they're satisfied. Yeah, they're bruised. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're hurt. Their allies are hurt for sure. Iran is hurt. Hezbollah is hurt, but they survived. So I think that's the most important thing for them.
Well, speaking of Iran, I'm glad you mentioned them. The uh, Shin Bet just talked over the past couple of days about an operation that they were conducting or have been conducting, where they busted up a weapons smuggling effort run by the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard Corps, from the Iranian regime, in an effort to try to smuggle weapons. And a sizable cache was picked up by the Israelis through Syria and Jordan, which Jordan has a fairly porous border right now, and then into the West Bank. So the idea of let's get these weapons into the West Bank. Who knows what they were thinking after that? Which I guess is a rambling way for me to say that, to your point, it's a pause. Hamas will, if all things stay relatively the same as they are currently, will reconstitute because it's in Iran's best interest to have them reconstitute. They've been a very important part of their proxy network. Um, am I wrong about that?
Oh no, absolutely. Hamas is the one of the main actors in the Iran-led axis of resistance, right? And it was very important for Iran for Hamas to survive this war. I mean, you had Hezbollah involved for more than a year, defending or assisting Hamas, and then the Houthis, of course, and then you had the Iraqi militia groups firing rockets at the Israelis as well. So yeah, Hamas is very important. But to your point, as far as like for the West Bank, for example. Uh, before a couple of years before the war, or for a couple of years before the war started, in 2023, the West Bank was on fire. And what I mean by that is that armed groups in the West Bank who were loyal to Iran, whether it's Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and others, they were receiving a lot of smuggled weapons and mostly firearms, but nevertheless, they were manufacturing IEDs. And now this recent operation that you mentioned is very concerning because what the Israelis found wasn't just pistols and rifles. Uh, they found rocket launchers. They found claymore mines. They found explosive laden drones. And this stuff you don't see in the West Bank. You may see it in Gaza, not in the West Bank. So these are they're often termed game-changing weapons. Okay, that would those type of weapons in the West Bank would cause significant damage. So, point being here is that Iran, despite the war in June with the Israelis, despite the war in Gaza, and the Israeli operation in the West Bank that started in January of this year, Iran is still trying to arm its network of proxies and clients in the West Bank. They want to keep that front against Israel open and active. That's what the Iranians are trying to do.
I have this crazy theory, Joe, this wild-eyed theory that says you'll never have long-term stability or peace as long as the Iranian regime, as long as the mullahs and the IRGC remain in charge in Iran. Now, that's not the same as saying, I'm calling for a regime change. I'm saying the Iranian people themselves need to, finally step up and say enough's enough. But that's been a long for, holy grail on the part of the West, that somehow they internally there would be a revolt against the mullahs and the IRGC. I don't know that is ever going to happen, but that's my theory, is that everything else is just putting lipstick on a pig.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.